This is Max. Yes, he has a cute teddy bear. How old do you think Max is? Max is 2 years old. Can Max go to school at this age? No, not really. He is only 2 years old. We can say, Max is not old enough. Here, we used an adjective plus enough. Notice how I pronounced enough. Enough. It sounds like it ends in an F. Enough. What does enough mean? Enough can mean sufficient or sufficiently, or as much as required or needed. But here it says not enough. Not enough can mean less than necessary, less than sufficient. Max is not old enough means he doesn't have the necessary age. His age is less than sufficient. In this lesson, we're going to look at the word enough and its meanings, uses, and correct position in a sentence. Adjective plus enough. As we have seen, enough appears after an adjective. Let's see some example sentences. The coffee is not hot enough. Here, we are saying the coffee is not sufficiently hot. I can't hear the music. It's not loud enough. The volume is not the sufficient level for me to be able to hear it. He wasn't experienced enough for the job. This means he didn't have sufficient experience for the job. The room is large enough for all the students. Here, enough is used in a positive way. It doesn't have not before it. So it means the room has the sufficient space for all of the students, the space that is necessary. Note, we don't say enough hot or enough loud or enough experienced or enough large. Enough goes after the adjective. Now you may have noticed after large enough, we have the preposition for plus students. After enough, we can have for plus person or people. Let's look at some more examples of this. Adjective plus enough plus for plus person. Before, we said the coffee is not hot enough. We didn't mention if it is not hot enough for me, for you, or some other person. To say who this refers to, we add for plus person or people. For example, the coffee is not hot enough for me. And another example, is the music loud enough for you? Here, I specify the person, for you, the old man. After enough, we can also have an infinitive, which is the base form of a verb. An infinitive has the form to plus verb. The order is adjective plus enough plus infinitive. Remember Max? Max can't go to school because he is not old enough. We can change the order of this and say, Max is not old enough to go to school. Notice how we use the infinitive, to go, after enough. A couple more examples. She is old enough to vote. Yes, she has the sufficient age to be able to vote. The phone is small enough to put in your pocket. Yes, it has a small size. That is the sufficient amount to be able to put it in your pocket. And if you want, you can combine for plus person with an infinitive. The correct word order is adjective plus enough plus for plus person plus infinitive. Let's look at some example sentences. The car is cheap enough for us to buy. Yes, we have a sufficient amount of money to be able to buy the car. It was easy enough for them to complete. They didn't have any problems to complete it because it was easy for them. The rope isn't strong enough for us to use. Yes, it doesn't have the sufficient strength for us to be able to use it. The room isn't quiet enough for me to study. Exactly. I like to study in total silence. Verb plus enough. We can use enough after a verb. We hadn't trained enough and lost the game. We hadn't trained a sufficient amount, so, as a consequence, we lost the game. I think you have done enough. Yes, you have done a sufficient amount. He doesn't study enough. Yes, he should study more. You look too thin. You don't eat enough. Exactly, you don't eat a sufficient amount of food. Our last sentence was, you don't eat enough. This consists of a verb, eat, plus enough. This means you don't eat a sufficient amount or an adequate amount. Sometimes there is an adverb between the verb and enough. Adverb plus enough. For example, you don't eat healthily enough. Remember, an adverb gives us more information about the verb. It says how or in what way. In this last sentence, it refers to in a healthy way. Some more examples. I didn't leave early enough and I arrived late. They didn't react quickly enough and they lost the opportunity. Did you notice how there was a verb before the adverb to give the order verb plus adverb plus enough? Adverb plus enough plus infinitive. Again, sometimes we use an infinitive after enough. He isn't running fast enough to win the race. The infinitive is to win. I didn't go early enough to buy a ticket. You're not working hard enough to get a pay rise. Enough plus noun. After enough, we can use a noun. Enough plus noun. This noun can be a plural countable noun or an uncountable noun. Here, enough means the correct number or amount. As many or as much as someone needs or wants. Is there enough room in the car for me? In a way, this means, is there a sufficient amount of room or space for me? He has enough money to buy a new car. Yes, he has been saving for years, and now he has enough money or the sufficient amount of money to buy one. We do not have enough cups for everyone. You can see the last sentence is negative and uses not enough, which means it is less than what is needed. It is an insufficient amount. This means we don't have as many cups as we need. We don't have the sufficient amount. Enough plus noun plus infinitive. After enough plus noun, we can also have an infinitive. There isn't enough paint to finish the wall. The infinitive here is to finish. Do we have enough time to have lunch? I don't have enough money to buy a laptop. Enough as a pronoun. Enough can be used as a pronoun to replace enough plus noun. Look at this dialogue. Have you got enough money? And the other person says, no, I don't have enough. Here, the pronoun enough is used instead of enough money, and we use this pronoun to avoid repetition. Another example. Would you like some more cake? No thanks, I've had enough. Here the pronoun enough means enough cake. We don't repeat cake to avoid sounding repetitive. It is obvious we're talking about cake. Another example. I bought some pizza. And the other person says, do we have enough for everyone? Here, enough refers to enough pizza. Enough pizza for everyone. I hope you found this lesson about enough useful. Have an awesome day.